Alrighty, my introductions, good morning. We got Ruth Ann, good morning. Quick introduction to today. It's Monday the 21st. For most of you that may or may not know, it's the winter solstice. It's the shortest, darkest day of the year if you want to look at it like that. It's also the first time in like 500 years that moons and stars align in the launch of Aquarius. So when you get down to this call, right, here's a challenge for everybody, whether you believe in energy or not. Get off the call, sit down, relax for a couple minutes, take a couple deep breaths, invite a little bit of love and light in your life, and have a good time, and put a smile on your face, because good times are coming, they say. So pat yourself on the back for, what are we at, 9 full months of being online. First class was March 30th, live online, so pat yourselves on the back. And yeah, let's get to work. 9 o'clock your time, 10 o'clock our time. Today we have 2 big parts of the workout. We have our balancing rows coming up. The last time we did it, we technically didn't do balancing rows. You have the choice of that. We have some pushing. We got some legs. You'll have some options there. We have a little exertion, a little bit of abs. So today is a nice, good, fun day. I would label it about a 4 on the scale of a 10 as far as intensity. Let's get warm. Standing scissors. This warm-up we did last Friday, so it'll be very similar to that, right? 10 standing scissors. Let's elongate those hamstrings and glutes and lower back and move our shoulders and our hips with our legs and our arms on our 10 standing scissors. We're not in a hurry. 10 standing runners. Elbows to knees, not knees to nose. You've got mobility, you've got rotation, you've got activation. We're breathing on those standing runners. You've got your Jack LaLanne's. Remember, there is dynamic lengthening on a standing scissor and stiff-legged deadlift. And then there's dynamic stretching on the Jack LaLanne. You gotta get big, and then it is okay to think about that stretching versus lengthening, which we'll talk a little bit more about later on. Jack LaLanne's for 10, and then you're on your 10 regular squats per request of last week, right? When I say exaggerate the motion, well, I know we all go to the bathroom at some point in time in the day, and most toilets aren't very high, so get those buns down and back. Apologies to the toilet analogy, but I know how low we all have to go sometimes on our squats. 10 on the regular squats. Shake it off. It's Monday morning. 10 standing scissors for the second time. Again, dynamic lengthening. You've got a contracted muscle, and you're going to lengthen that contracted muscle. Multi-joint motion, multi-muscle activation. 10 standing scissors for the second time. 10 standing runners for the second time. Rotation, breathe, maybe a little rhythm. Maybe you just felt that temperature in your body raise up a little bit. After those standing runners, you'll have your Jack LaLanne's again. You gotta get up, right? You gotta get up. I see a lot of this sometimes when I see people do it at the gym, and you gotta get up. That isn't gonna be a recipe for disaster if you don't get back up, so you can consistently and effectively go back down on your Jack LaLanne's. Again, not your first time. 10 wide squats, hips, hips, hips. This is your flexibility squat on your wide squat. Those hip muscles lengthen more on your wide squat. Last week we had that sumo squat come into play. That is very different from a wide squat technically. A little more depth, a little more load, a little more mobility on a sumo squat versus the flexibility on the wide squat. And again, shake it off. We have one more round on this warm up, and then we're gonna get to work. You got your standing scissors for the third and last time. 10 standing scissors. Dynamic lengthening hamstrings, glutes, lower back. You could even say your up back and your shoulders and your arms too, but you're moving your legs and arms via your hips and your shoulders on your 10 standing scissors. Then you're on your 10 standing runners, rotation, activation, mobility on your standing runners. And again, don't be surprised if you feel your temperature increase a little bit more. Those two things yield blood flow and heart rate and all that good stuff. 10 Jack LaLannes. Again, optionally, the last time you'll do these. Later on, when you get to exertion, you always have a choice of doing mobility exercises on your exertion. 10 Jack LaLannes, and then one more on the 10 narrow squats. That is your mobility squats. Remember, hips move a ton. Your glutes always turn on. Posture, right? You're looking out in front of you. We'll talk a little bit about neutral spine later on. And basically, neutral spine is a position, but that neutral spine also yields mobility and activation. You don't feel so rigid. And we'll talk about that here soon. 10 narrow squats will end the warm-up routine. Fairly simple, fairly effective, please. When you're ready, we're going to be on to our first circuit. We have two main circuits. We're going to transition into some exertion and abs later on. You'll see. The last time we did one arm rows, I used the word core rows, and you have the option of balancing. So last time you had the option of this and or not core rows. Today I do want the balancing component. So mix up what leg you're going to balance on, but this circuit is going to be a right side row. But please mix up your legs. Right side row is going to be 30 down by 5. Don't go just yet. You're literally going to have that similar pace to last week, where we're going to go row to an immediate push, right? Low rep immediate push, and they're going to immediately go into a leg. Okay, so I'm going to be here, right? I just want you to think about the pace. Here we go. 30 right side balancing rows. Get low because of your body, right? I didn't say your back. You get low at your hip joint. You use your hamstrings, your glutes, your good lower back, maybe even some calves as you're balancing. Mix up your legs occasionally, not frequently. I actually want you to feel that leg work, right? Your peroneus muscles, your lower leg balancing muscles, right? Those are going to work a little bit as I use my hand, right? My feet, my toes, my ankles, right? I'm going to have that movement as I balance, unless you're really good at balancing, right? 30 right rows, get low, stay low, and row. As you're doing your 30 right rows, the second you get done, I want 10 chest or shoulders. You can do push-ups, you can do chest presses, you can do shoulder presses. I want an immediate 10 the second you get done with your 30 right rows. And I'll talk about the immediate leg you'll do as well. But this rhythm comes from last week. We're slowly pulling, balancing and pulling 30 right rows. And then you immediately drop and either give me 10 push-ups or lay on something and do 10 chest presses, or sit tall or stand tall and do 10 shoulder presses. But again, I'm using that word immediately. Do not wait. 30 right rows, and then do 10 either chest presses, push-ups, lay on something for chest presses, or shoulder presses. And that's where that pace comes from, and that's where that burn's gonna happen. And of course, you guys have all heard the phrase, drop and give me 10, right? Drop and give me 20?
A whole lot.
Was that?
You're breaking up a whole lot.
Okay.
There's a lot of pauses. I don't know if it's just my machine.
Okay. Thank you. I do not know.
I don't know if there's any adjustment you can make.
Yeah, but
No, I think it's our internet probably. I asked Greg if he was streaming on his computer.
computer, but.
Is everybody else having problems too?
I do, but I just need you to repeat stuff more, and then I'll catch it on one of the glitches.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't follow the timing.
Okay, so we have 30 right rows, right? The balancing right rows. And then you're going to have your 10 chest presses or shoulder presses immediately. And then you'll be on your left hand on your 20 regular squats or stationary reverse lunges. You have a choice of doing regular squats or stationary reverse lunges. The weight is in your left hand as you do your 20 squats or stationary reverse lunges. When that weight is in your left hand, if you're doing squats, I want the weight up on your shoulders if you're doing squats. And if you're doing stationary reverse lunges, you can have the weight down or the weight up. Always 20, either stationary reverse lunges or regular squats. Sorry, I'll be changing your legs today, but it's always going to be 20. So round 1 was 30 right balancing rows. That number is going to change. Always 10 chest presses or shoulder presses, always 10. And then always 20 legs, I'm going to change them, but the weight is in your left hand. Okay, I know it's a lot. When you get done with round 1, round 2 is 25 right balancing rows. 25 right. I do want you to mix up your legs. Balance on either leg as you do your right side balancing rows. It's going to be 30 down by 5 right side balancing rows. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. It's a lot. We've done that before. Take your time. When you get done with your pulling, remember I didn't say we're going to go fast, but I want you to immediately do 10 chest or shoulders. Immediately. And then I'll be changing your legs. Round 2, 25 right balancing rows. Get low, stay low on the right side balancing rows. Round 2 is the 25, and then you're going to be on your 10 chest or shoulders. 10. Remember, you can do push-ups if you want to do push-ups. You can lay on something and do chest press if you want to do chest press, or you can sit tall or stand tall and do shoulder press. Always 10 this circuit. So if you guys do get lost at all, right, if you do have any more breakups, 30 down by 5 on the right side row. Always 10 chest or shoulders. I'm just going to try to change your legs, okay? Round 1 was regular squat or stationary reverse lunge. Round 2, weight is in the left hand. You've got your wide squat, or you can do alternating stiff-legged deadlifts. You can totally mix it up. The position of the stiff-legged deadlift will be familiar or similar to the one-arm row, right? Always 20. If you do wide squat, the weight is down in the middle with your left hand. If you do stationary stiff-legged deadlifts or alternating stiff-leggeds, the weight goes down to either leg, right? Always 20 is the number on your legs. Weight is in your left hand during this circuit. Everybody's connection a little better, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So round 2 was 25 right balancing rows. Always 10 on your push, chest or shoulders. And then round 2 was left hand wide squat or alternating stiff-legged deadlifts. So today we are going to do 200 legs, but you can mix and match and adjust between your squats and your alternating legs. Round 3, I'm not saying you should be there. Remember, I always try to be a little bit ahead. Round 3 is 20 right rows. The first 3 rounds yield a lot, right? 30 and 25 and 20. So you should feel those balancing muscles as you do your balancing one-arm rows. Round 3, 20, right, balancing rows, get low, stay low, and row on the 20 right rows. But again, I'm going to raise my volume. That means volume for me is trying to give you guys energy with pace. Always 10 chest or shoulders after your balancing rows. Always this circuit. So round 3, 20 right rows. 10. Again, you can do all chest if you want to do all chest. You can do all shoulders if you want to do all shoulders. It isn't very much compared to other body days, but I've added this lower rep component the last couple weeks. We've added a touch of pace when we lift, right? A little energy when we push and when we pull. Round 3 is 20 right balancing rows, 10 on the push. And then your leg when you get to it. Weight is in your left hand. You've got narrow squats or you've got stationary forward lunges. You can totally mix up your narrow squats or stationary forward lunges as long as the weight is in your left hand. Narrow squat or stationary forward lunges on round 3. And that's always 20 reps. Again, I've touched on it briefly today. Neutral spine, right? Keep doing your stuff. Neutral spine is, what does that mean? It's like this magical thing. Well, my head is above my shoulders. I'm not tilted to the right or tilted to the left. My head's not in front of my shoulders. I'm not pulling it behind my shoulders. When you're getting into these positions, right? You're looking out in front of you, the neutral spine. If you don't feel rigid, you're potentially there. If you feel like you have mobility, again, you're potentially there. If you look in the mirror, right, and you're at a posture, you turn sideways, right, work on that neutral spine. I know it's corny because I can't physically touch you guys, but again, it's head above shoulders. Your ears are in line with your shoulders, right? Your head's not in front or back. You're not looking down, you're not looking up. That's a neutral spine. Round 3 was a 20 right row, the 10 on the chest or shoulders, and that left hand narrow squat or stationary forward lunge. Breathe. Round 4 is 15 right balancing rows. You get low with your body, hips, glutes, right? Your hamstrings, your calves are going to help out, right? They're trying to help balance you. 15 right balancing rows is round 4. Always 10 chest or shoulders, always 10. And then I'll change your leg. Again, a touch of pace occurs in the round, but I do want to slow it down between the rounds. And again, you could stick to one push if you want to. Chest push-ups or laying on something, chest presses, or sitting tall, standing tall, shoulder presses. Later on, we'll get our triceps into the left side. So although we have plenty of body today, it's not super invasive. Round 4 is the 15 right row, the 10 on the push. Remember, I'm trying to be a little bit ahead of you. You can either do stability ball squats if you have the tool, right? Ball and wall. Or you can do lateral lunges. Weight is in the left hand, whether you do a stability ball squat or a lateral lunge. Kind of mean if you're forced to do one thing. However, if you do have the tools and the space, you can mix them up. Always 20. Left hand, this circuit. Round 4 is the ball squat or lateral lunge. A little focus, a little bit of work. Pace in the round, right? You start this exercise and you get through the round with some intensity, and we slow it down between the rounds. Round 4. 15 right balancing row, 10 chest shoulders, 20 either ball squats or lateral lunges. I want to nudge you a little bit. That doesn't mean you stop doing what you're doing. Finish your round. Round 5 is your 10 right balancing row. Remember, if you're not there, good. Don't stop doing what you're doing. If you find yourself waiting for me each round, slow your movements down. Remember that word load, L-O-A-D, comes from either physical weight or time. Time under tension is a major factor, especially with changing reps. 10 right balancing rows, 10 on your chest or shoulders. You'll have the one more different leg. We'll have the one more upper body round, and we're going to transition to a quick exertion and abs. Again, round 5, 10 right balancing row. Always 10 on your chest or shoulders. When you get to it, either step ups if you have the tool to do step ups, the weight is in your left hand, or you can do both hands, both legs, stiff-legged deadlifts. However, the weight is only in your left hand. This is more of a core exercise on your stiff-legged RDLs. When you have that weight in your left hand, your left side up body is working, everything lower body is working. You know, those muscles that touch your spine are your core muscles. Alternating stiff-leggeds are great, but definitely more of a hamstring balancing exercise, whereas this one can be more glutes and core. Left hand on either step-ups, if you have the tool, or stiff-legged deadlifts. Both hands, both legs. But when that weight is in your left hand, your body has to work hard to stay square. Breathe. Remember, pace in the round. Slowing it down between the rounds. No rush. Good focus, good form, good mindset. Monday morning. Round 5 was a 10 right balancing row, the 10 on your chest or shoulders, the left hand, the last legs, this circuit with the step-ups or stiff-legged deadlifts. I want to push you a little bit. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Round 6, last 5 right row. Remember, if you can't go heavier physically, slow it down a little bit. 5 right balancing row, 10 on your chest or shoulder for the last time. Remember, my volume's going to increase when I try to give you energy. You're going to do 50 on your exertion, which I'll talk about in a second, and then 50 on your upper body motion abs. So a little intensity coming your way. It's a little bit. We don't have a lot today. 5 right balancing rows. 10 on your chest or shoulders. 50 on your exertion, which is either agility or plyometrics or mobility. Agility is quicker, quieter, potentially revolutions. Plyometrics, bigger, louder, harder reps. And again, mobility, you did some earlier standing scissors, standing runners, jack legs. So I want you to crank it up a tiny bit. 5 right balancing rows. Last time I'm going to say it. 10 on the chest or shoulders. Again, last time doing that. 50 exertion can either be agility, plyometrics, or mobility. And then you're going to do 50 upper body motion abs, which means your lower body is not moving. So we transition out of the circuit quickly, and we move into this briefly. Again, agility, high knees, butt kicks, jumping jacks, taps, right? Bench or ball or dumbbell. Ski hops, right? Agility, you're moving load, you're displacing load. It doesn't require a lot of power. It has some impact. Plyometrics, you're moving and displacing a lot more load. It does cause a need more power, and it does yield more impact. Mobility, right? Standing scissors, standing runners, jack-o'-lanes. Plyometrics are jump squats, split jumps, burpees, skater hops. Again, we've reintroduced a couple things over the last month, partly because it's easy to think about ski hops and skater hops when you might get to go to the mountains. The transition round, right? You got the rows done, the chest, shoulders done, 50 on your exertion, and then 50 upper body motion abs. Your lower body is not moving. Sit-ups. You can lay on anything. Ground, ball, bench. Your legs can be straight. Knees can be bent. You can have your feet wide, your feet narrow. You can have your toe touches, right? Both legs up, or one leg up on your toe touches. If you're at the gym, right, you got jackknives, the loaded vertical sit-up. Remember, up body motion abs, there are more positions, whereas lower body or hip motion abs, there's more movements. Again, I want a little bit of pace, a little intensity happens. Just wakes you up a little bit. Remember, we have the whole other side to do. So you already do know what's coming up. We just need to slow it down when we get there. 50 exertions, 50 upper body motion abs, sit-ups, toe touches. Remember the different positions on that. Jackknives if you're at the gym. Remember at the gym you have the decline board, sit-ups, different angles, stability balls, benches. If your feet are on the ground, your body is on the bench, that's an elevated sit-up. Your feet below the hips is an elevated position. Get a little bit of work. Wake that body and soul back up a little bit. I don't expect you to be there, but I'm going to start talking about the next circuit. That doesn't mean you stop doing what you're doing. I just want to make sure everybody has their pace, their workout. After the 50 exertion and 50 upper body motion abs, when you get there, we have the left side balancing rows. We're still going to do the 30 down by 5. We're not going back up. Triceps. You got dips, you got kickbacks, you got overheads, you got narrow push-ups, you got skull crushers with dumbbells, barbells, and TRXs, right? There's a lot of different positions and movements on your triceps. The triceps are replacing your chest, shoulders, so it'll always be 10. I don't expect you to remember the order. The weight will be in your right hand when you do all the leg stuff, okay? When you get there, left side balancing rows, get low, stay low, and row. Earlier, we did right side row. Your right back was working, but hopefully you mixed up your lower body balance. You have the left hand on your squats or alternating legs. We worked on subtle weight distribution, which is core. You had unilateral load and bilateral load possibilities. And that's when either the up body and lower body are working the same side. They're loaded on the same side, or they're loaded on the opposite sides. So we have these little subtle parts of the workout that you don't even have to think about. 30 left side balancing rows. Get low with your body, stay low with your body and core, and row. 10 triceps, always 10 dips, kickbacks, overhead, skull crushers, narrow push-ups. Lots of ways to do triceps. Remember, I want to be a little bit ahead of you. I don't want you discouraged by my pace. This is your workout. But I do want to give you that pace and that energy in your round. 30 rows. Immediately do your 10 triceps. And then that weight will be in your right hand as you do either regular squats or stationary reverse lunges. When you do the regular squats, I prefer the weight to be up on your body. And when you do stationary reverse lunges, you can mix it up either up or down, totally up to you. 20 is always the number on the legs like earlier. Pace in the round. Balancing row, good burning push, and a good weight distribution on the legs. Whew. So when you get there, round 1 on the next circuit, left side, balancing row for 30. The number is going to go down. Always 10 triceps, right? My volume increases to give you that intensity and pace. Right hand will have the weight on the legs. Preferably you do the same legs you did earlier just for sheer mechanical balance, but you don't have to. Round 1 was right hand, regular squat or stationary reverse lunge. Round 2, I want to be a little ahead of you. 25 left side balancing rows. Get low with your body core. Stay low with your body core and balance. Remember that neutral spine. When I'm in this position, I'm looking about 4 to 5 feet in front of me. I'm not looking at my toes. I'm not looking up either. Nice good balancing piece. And there's that neutral spine, right? When you're talking about neck, cervical to thoracic, right? You can still have other shifts. 25 left side balancing rows. Always 10 on your push. Triceps this circuit. You just have more choices with your triceps. Overhead triceps, skull crushers, right? Either laying on something and that weight goes to head, or you have your TRX skull crusher push-ups, dips, kickbacks. Narrow push-ups will yield more triceps. A lot of different exercises. 25 left balancing row. 10 on your triceps pushing. The weight goes in the right hand, either wide squats, the weight down in the middle, or you have your alternating stiff-legged deadlifts. When you have the right hand loaded and you're on your right leg, no matter what leg exercise you do, that is unilateral load. Same arm, same leg. When you're on the opposite arm, opposite leg, that is bilateral load or cross balance. Both are good. And of course, when you get to those squats, right, that subtle weight distribution will turn on your quads and your hamstrings a little bit differently. Based on where the weight is will determine how much core is going to turn on. Round 2 is 25 left balancing rows, 10 triceps. Right hand, either wide squats or alternating stiff-legged deadlifts. Now the first couple rounds feel slow. Take your time. Take your time. Breathe. Pace in the circuit. Pull, push, leg. Do that with a certain level of intensity and pace. And then take that big, deep breath. Let your hands recover. They are definitely part of the equation. After your wide squat or alternating stiff-legged deadlift, you'll be on your 20 left balancing rows. Breathe. Now remember, I don't want you to be way behind me, so don't stop doing what you're doing. All right, if you are way behind, let me know. But these rounds are big numbers, put them all together. Round 3, 20 left balancing row. Always 10 on your triceps. You'll have a different leg coming your way. Everybody's in the groove now. I know you are. Feeling it, burning it. Remember those triceps, right? Just like at the gym, you got ropes and you got bars, you got rope overheads and bars in front, and you got dips, you got kickbacks, skull crushers, bar, dumbbells, kettlebells if you really wanted to, skull crushers. 20 left balancing row, 10 tricep. Round 3, right hand, you either have your narrow squat or stationary forward lunges. Remember that weight can be up or down on either exercise. You would get more core when that weight is up. You get more weight distribution and displacement when that weight is down. So both are good for you. I'm going to exaggerate. When the weight is down, right, my body wants to shift. I got to work really hard to stay square. When the weight is up, your core is going to turn on more. So both are good. Right hand, either narrow squat or stationary forward lunge. Again, these first couple rounds are slow, steady, but we can crank it up with a pace in the round. A little oomph. Again, round 3, 20 left balancing rows. You'll have accumulated 210 balancing reps today between the two sides. You'll have accumulated 120 on your pushing, chest, shoulders, triceps. You've done more than that. This is a Monday morning. You have accumulated 200 total weight distribution core legs. 100 on the total exertions. We have more to go. We have 100 on the total abs. And we'll have a little 5-minute finish to your day. You're welcome. Round 4. I'm not saying you should be there. Don't be discouraged if you're a little bit behind. Okay, I don't want you to be discouraged by being a lot behind. You're going to hear about it. Round 4 is the 15 left balancing rows. If you can't increase the physical weight, holding more weight, you can increase the time that you do the motion, time under tension. I don't need ridiculous slow, more than 3 seconds. That does turn into more of an eccentric exercise. However, definitely hitting that 2.5 to 3 second mark is good. Round 4, 15 left balancing rows. You've got your 10 triceps as my volume increases to give you some energy. 10 triceps. And we'll do a different leg exercise. Nice little work on a Monday morning. Round 4, 15 left balancing rows, 10 on your triceps. That weight is in your right hand, whether you do a stability ball squat, if you have a ball and a wall, stability ball squat, or you have that lateral lunge. Why those two as a choice? Well, they are different, but the vastus lateralis, the outer quad, tends to work a little bit more on both. The semitendinosus, the outer hamstring, tends to work a little bit more. Your posterior hips, right? You also have your glute minimus and medius, the upper and outer glute, right? Again, similar exercises. I just want to give you some options as you cruise through this. 20 right hand, either ball squat or your lateral lunge. Remember that super loading we talked about earlier, right arm, right leg, stepping, loading, working, bilateral load when the left leg steps. That weight is in the right hand. Again, a little weight distribution going on. Round 4, 15 left balancing rows, 10 on the triceps, 20 on either the ball squats or lateral lunge. When you get to that round 5, remember I'm trying to push you a little bit, and just a little bit. Trying to nudge you a little bit. Round 5, you've got your 10 left balancing rows. Time under tension. Load. You are getting low with your body, not your back. You're working your back muscle on the row, trap muscle. Woo! You want balance there. 10 left balancing row, not your last row. 10 tricep, not your last tricep, but it will be your last formal legs. Of course, I should say concentric legs. You do need your legs on your exertion coming up. 10 left balancing rows, 10 on your triceps. Again, a touch of pace in the round. Plus I'm trying to nudge you as those reps go down and the leg exercises change. Get that little burn going on. Round 5, if you have the tool, you have the right hand 20 step-ups, or you have the right hand both legs stiff-legged deadlifts. Remember, my preference was you repeated what you did earlier just for sheer overall balance and kinesthetic awareness, mechanics of movement. However, you don't have to. Right hand step-ups or stiff-legged deadlifts. You can call them RDLs, but again, that difference between RDL and stiff-legged is the weight that you have in the hand and the power that you're supposed to create. That's the biggest difference between the two. Kind of like the whole wide squat, sumo squat difference. They're similar, but they are different. Round 5, 10 left balancing rows, 10 triceps. Your last concentric legs, right leg step-ups or stiff-legged deadlifts. Again, I'm trying to push you the tiniest bit. Don't worry, we have plenty of work still to go. You'll be on your last 5 left balancing row. You'll be on your last 10 triceps pushing. Remember, my volume is increasing to give you some energy. You're going to have your 50 exertion again, and then your 50 hip motion abs or lower body motion abs, which again, you have a lot more choices. I just want you to slow the movements down. So remember that last part, 5 left balancing rows, last 10 triceps, 50 on your exertion, 50 on your hip motion abs, and then we have 5 minutes to finish off our workout. If you don't have that time, that is okay. Okay? So finish this round. 5 left balancing rows, 10 triceps. Remember, your exertion can be agility based. High knees, running revolutions or walking reps, butt kicks, running revolutions or walking reps, jumping jacks or walking jacks, taps. If it's quick, it's revolutions. If it's slower, it's reps. Ski hops, right? Both feet right on the ski hops. Again, if it's quick, small, easy for you, it's revolutions. Plyometrics, jump squats, split jumps, burpees, skater hops, lateral bench hops, right? Something bigger, right? And those are all normally going to be all reps. You could do your mobility, standing scissors, standing runners, jack-o'-lanes. If you really want to skip out on that, that's okay. You could even do some obliques if you want to do some obliques, as this workout is still not done yet. 50 exertions, 50 hip motion abs, reverse crunches, V-ups, hanging abs if you're at the gym, slow scissors and slow runners, windshield wipers, Russian twists. If you really want to do hip bridges, right, more glutes, more core, you could do hip bridges. You could have a little more glute activation in this workout if you wanted to. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people that don't enjoy doing abs. 50 exertion, crank it up. 50 hip motion abs. I'm going to give everybody about 2-ish minutes, and then we're going to start the 5-minute timer. You can always start it on your own, and I'll talk about that soon. Breathe. Remember, pace doesn't mean you're going fast, right? You're not doing the movements fast. Pace, you're just not going to rest. Or slow pace, you need to rest. That's okay. Hip motion abs. My visual I want you guys to have in your head, right? You got your hip joints, right? You keep working, right? Your hips. We all talk about our hips, right? There's hip joint and hip muscle. Your hip joint. Your abs attached to it, and your legs attached to your hip joint. So your abs can't move your legs directly. Your abs aren't attached to your femur. Your abs attached to your hips. So the hips are pulling, the abs are pulling on those hips, and then the weight of the legs. Well, that's still a hard analogy. So take the simplicity of a bicep curl, right? My elbow is the joint, and my biceps are there, but you have the forearm, and you have the dumbbell in your hand. So let your forearm and your hand be your legs, and let your bicep be your abs. So that hip joint, right? You're moving it just like you do the bicep curl. Now, it's not exactly that way, but that's kind of your analogy, right? Your hip joint is moving, and your abs are moving those legs. Your legs are the weight of that bicep curl. And the only reason I touch on that more than your upper body motion abs, because a lot of people either get their back or their hips instead of getting their abs. So it just gives you that mindset of why everything is moving and why it's an ab exercise. 50 exertion, 50 hip motion abs, something big, something slow, something challenging. And keep breathing. I'm going to give everybody about a minute, and we'll start doing our 5-minute finisher. Oh yeah, now remember, if you have to leave, that is okay. Just do the 5-minute finisher some point in time today. Make sure you're focused on you right now as I do talk about that 5-minute finisher. If you are ready, you can do your own time. I'll start my time soon. What is the 5-minute finisher? Well, we have started with it many times. You've got your 5-minute plank and or your 5-minute wall sit challenge. If you're not planking, you're wall sitting. If you're not wall sitting, you're planking. I don't want a lot of formal changes. I kind of want you to suffer before you make the change. So again, I'm going to give everybody a couple more seconds. We're not going to go just yet, but if you're ready and you have a timer, 5 minutes of either planking and or wall sitting. I want the nice, still, low plank and the nice, still wall sit. You're not squatting, you're not doing any more abs formally. 5-minute challenge. When you're not wall sitting, you're planking. And when you're not planking, you're wall sitting. Which means you need to make those changes quickly if you do make the changes. And if you're not ready yet, you can either join us when you do get ready or set your own timer. Okay? Got about 10 more seconds. You have done the balancing right rows and left rows. You have the chest and shoulders pushing and the triceps pushing. You have the weight distribution legs, right? You got to mix up your squats and your alternating legs. We had 100 on the exertion and 100 on the abs, okay? 5 minutes of work still to come. When you're ready, here we go. When you're not planking, you're wall sitting, and when you're not wall sitting, you're planking. Ready, set, go. Now, if you're not ready, awesome. You can chime in. I can time you if you don't have a timer, or set your timer. If you've already been going, awesome. The low plank, you're in your elbows and your toes. When you get that position, right, take a big deep breath. Take the weight out of your elbows. Take it out of your shoulders. Take it out of your neck. Take it out of your toes. Take it out of your legs. Center it in your body. You can say breathe through your belly button if you want to breathe through your belly button. You can say contract your abs, right? You can do all these mindsets. Just take the weight from your extremities and put it in the middle of your body. The butt thing. People are like, oh, your butt's too high. Oh, your butt's too low. Well, of course I want your body parallel to the ground. But if you get lower back quickly, you just got to stick your butt up a tiny bit. And that might help you contract your abs. You are 1 minute in, 4 to go. I don't really want a high plank. I'm not going to say no. A high plank is push-up position. It's still good for you, so don't muddy the message. It's good for you. Your body works harder when you're in a low plank. That is a physical fact. It's harder, but also can bug other things too. That's why a high plank exists. If you're doing wall sits, right? Your butt's against the wall, your back against the wall, your shoulders against the wall. What do I want? 90-degree angle at your hips, your knees, and your ankles. You're sitting against the wall. You're not pushing against the wall. Again, if you're with me, awesome. If you're doing it here soon, awesome. You are 2 minutes in, 2 minutes to go. Remember, if you make a change, make it quickly. And as you finish off this workout, right, you got another 2.5 minutes to go. As you finish off this workout, just because we're finishing with a 5-minute challenge and it doesn't feel like you're exerting too much, right? That doesn't mean you go push the off button and go sit down and start working, right? If you have time, stretch. If you have time and energy, go do some cardio. If you don't have a lot of time or energy, cool off for a second. And there's 1 or 2 things that should be in your body. If you need to hydrate, now is the best time. Your body will absorb the most. If you need to add nutrition to your body, now is the time. Your body will absorb the most. 3 minutes in, 2 minutes to go. So whatever you put in your body after your workout, your body will always absorb the most. Great time to hydrate. Great time to nourish. It is a great time, again, if you have energy, to go burn some fat. A little low cardio would help out with that. It's a great time to stretch. Your muscles would love to be elongated. 90 seconds, and you're done with your Monday workout. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Breathe and focus. A nice, good challenge today. Wasn't the craziest workout you've done. However, adding that little zest, little spice in your rounds, but hopefully it was slow between your rounds. 1 minute to go. Again, focus on the middle of the body. Abs, core, breathing. Take it away from the other things. If you're on that wall sit, your legs, your breathing, the quads, the hammies, the glutes. 30 seconds to go. Nice isometric challenge to finish off your good day today. Ten seconds. Tick, tick, tick. 3, 2, 1, and breathe. Woo! Now again, most people do this and they walk over, turn the off button, right? Just take your time, pat yourself on the back. This is the best time to put something in your body. Hydration and nutrition. Stretch and breathe. Have a wonderful Monday.